Right, so today's class is going to be all around waking up the glutes. Waking up the glutes, okay? So there are 3 muscles in the glutes, commonly known as the butt. 3 muscles, and the gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle, and it's really, really thick. But the problem with it is it gets lazy when we sit all day. Today's class is going to help you reverse the things that happen when we sit, okay? So what we're going to do is work on things that are going to help us. We're going to be doing some squats, and we're going to be doing some leg lifts. So, all ready? All right, so let's start off coming into a comfortable seated pose. And you can just make sure you feel comfy. You can put your hands on your knees. Let's close our eyes and just settle. So let's check in with our environment first. See if you can hear anything in your environment that's interesting. And then let's bring our attention to our internal state. Let's start with our emotions. So pick a word that will describe your emotional state and a number between 1 and 10. And now let's check in with our mental thoughts. See if there's any patterns in the mental activity right now. So don't judge your thoughts, just notice. Notice if you're doing a lot of an analyzing of past conversations, planning a vacation. Just notice any patterns. And now let's set an intention for our practice. How do you want to feel when you leave this practice today? All right, let's bring our hands together. Begin our practice with an Om. Inhale. Om. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to do some experiments with our sits bones. So I want you to move around. You can take the flesh out from behind your sits bones. So the sits bones are the bottom of the hips, all right? So wiggle around until you can find your sits bones. Now we're gonna roll to the front of our sits bones and see what that feels like. And now roll to the back of your sits bones and wiggle around and see. Now let's roll over to the right of our sits bones and then over to our left, all right? So the sits bones are really, really important part of our pelvis. And what happens in our modern society is we sit on the back of our sits bones, okay? So I can reach down and touch my sits bones and I can see that I'm on the back of them. And what's happening, if I reach down, I can feel my tailbone. I'm sitting on my tailbone right now. So watch what happens when I sit on the back of my sits bones and on my tailbone. Look at this, look at my back. So when I touch my back, my shoulder blades are getting opened and the front of my chest is concaving. So I'm gonna have neck pain, I'm gonna have shoulder pain, and now watch me type. I'm typing, right? So I'm getting shoulder pain, I'm getting wrist pain. the whole system is compromised and it's coming down just to the sits bones. So now let's try sitting on the front of our sits bones. So we're doing a little experiment. So come to the front and now sit. And feel the difference. Your spine automatically lines up straight. You can sit and type, and now there's not all the stress in your shoulders. Notice that your chest, go ahead and bring your hands to your chest, and notice that it's straight. It's not concaved. It's straight. And then the back, the muscles are not being overstretched. So you can see that the back is just, it's not being overly pulled or overstretched. So this is how we want to sit. And if we can bring our mind to how we're sitting, noticing, we can do a lot of improvements. So today's class is going to be all about trying to reverse the problems with sitting. All right. So change our muscles so that they can reverse the problems with sitting. So we're going to start off with our Sufi Grind. We're going to bring our hands to the psoas. The psoas is the muscle in the front of the hip. And I want you guys to touch the psoas as you go around. So we're going to inhale forward, exhale back, and feel this muscle as it tightens and as it pulls back to bring us around the back. It shortens in the front. And now let's bring our hands to our lower back and reverse. So starting to go over the left hip first. So feel the lower back and the glutes as they help us move around in the other direction. So we're going to be getting to know this part of our body today. All right, wonderful. So we're going to be laying down. So watch how I'm going to set up first before you lay down. So we're going to bring our feet to the sides of our mats. And then we're going to bend the knees. Just make sure you can see me. Yes. Okay. So first of all, whenever we lay down, we're going to check our lumbar. So take your two hands, put them underneath your back, right above your tailbone, and make sure there's a space. You want to have a space underneath your tailbone. You don't want to flatten out the curve of your spine. And once you have that, you bring your hands to your legs. So let's start on the outside of our hips. And let's inhale the legs to the right, 1 inch, and then exhale them to the left, 1 inch. So we're going to move back and forth and feel the hips moving. And there's going to be a lot of self-massage in this class today, so I hope everyone's comfortable with that. So when we bring our hands and massage the muscle, it brings more blood flow, which makes it stronger and removes waste. And now let's go 2 inches in each direction. And now let's take our hands to the sides of our glutes. As we come up, we can have more space to massage. Let's go 3 inches in each direction. So massage wherever you can feel. Let's go 4 inches and massage the lower back as you come up off the floor. Now let's drop our knees all the way over to the right and then press into the left foot, lifting the hip. And let's go all the way over to the right, press into the floor with the right foot, lifting the right hip. So going back and forth, just deepening the little back bend here that we're doing, the twist. And massage wherever you can feel, up into the upper back, around the glutes. So inhale when you push into the floor. Exhale when you let go, in and out through the nose. All right, we're going to stretch out the legs long, putting the heels on the ground. And we're going to do 1 minute of rotating the feet in and out. Okay, so we're going to be moving the feet in and out, back and forth. And so take a look at your feet and you'll see them fanning, windshield wipering. And they'll alternate which one's on top. So what this is doing, you bring your hands to the inner thighs and feel them moving. You're moving the legs, internally rotating and externally rotating, which is using muscles that probably never get used very often unless you're doing maybe soccer and kicking sideways. So let's inhale when our toes come out and exhale when they come in. And now let's bring our hands to the outside of our hips and feel the muscles moving. So we're rotating the femur bone in the hip socket. All right, beautiful. We're going to now do a little bit of dynamic hamstring strengtheners. So the hamstrings are the muscles on the back of the leg, on the thighs. So what we're going to do is just lie flat, laying our head back. You can bring the hands just down next to you. And we're going to lift the right leg 1 inch off the ground, pushing through the heel. And now let it come down slowly, and then press up the left leg, pushing through the heel. So we're just going to go back and forth, lifting the leg 1 inch off the ground. And if you feel like this is just too easy, you can lift the leg a little bit higher. But the thing is, don't use momentum. So if you lift the leg higher, I want you to push through the heel and move slowly. Because if you swing the leg, watch, if you swing the leg, you're really not using the muscles. You're just using a little fire of the muscle in the beginning, and then the rest of the way is not using the muscle. So go slowly, lift the leg wherever feels right, pushing through the heel the whole way. Feel that activation on the back of the hamstring. Inhaling the leg up and exhaling down through the nose. So we're going to be doing some isolating exercises today to strengthen our body. Feel that hamstring activating. Now I want you to start squeezing the gluteus maximus muscles to lift the leg. So not just the hamstring, you're engaging the glutes. All right, we're going to do one more on each side. All right, just rest for a moment. Let all that work integrate. Feel your heart beating. All right, take a look at me for a moment and I'll show you where we're going. We're going to be flipping over onto our belly. We're going to come down. Make sure that you have space over your head because we're going to be lifting our arms. So we're going to come down, lay on our belly, and we're going to have our hands free. So if you want to put a little pillow or a blanket or something under your forehead, or you can just rest your forehead on the ground, just make sure you can breathe. So your forehead can lay on the ground, or you can use a little blanket or something under the forehead. Either way is fine. All right, so what we're going to be doing is working those glutes some more. So we're going to first of all check if our glutes are firing. So what happens when we sit a lot is our gluteus maximus muscles get weak. They get sleepy and weak. So what we're going to do is take our hands to the glutes. It's your glutes. You're allowed to touch them. And then we're going to lift the leg. We're going to lift the right leg, activating the glutes, and then letting it come down. Okay, so we're just going to do the right leg. So I want you to see if the glutes are firing. So you should feel a big muscle engaging as you lift the leg. And we're inhaling the leg up, exhaling down. All right, we're going to switch sides. So now we're going to the left leg, and I want you to see if you can feel a difference on the sides. So if you feel on the left side, maybe the glutes are weaker. It's not activating as much. You'll know that you have some symmetry issues. You got to work on strengthening. So lifting the leg, engaging the glutes. All right, one more. All right, shake out the hips. Let the hips release, and let's just lay for a moment on our belly. So we're going to pull our chest forward a little bit using our arms, and then rest the head, and then walk our feet down a little bit so we have a long belly laying against the ground. And let's just do some deep belly breaths. Let's do 5 deep belly breaths. So bringing the air all the way down to our navel. All right, last big breath through the nose. All right, we're going to go back to work now. So we're going to take our hands back to our glutes, and we're going to bend both legs. We're going to first rock the feet back and forth just to loosen up anything. And then once we've done a little bit of loosening, now we're going to flex the feet 90 degrees, and we're going to lift the right leg, stomping on the ceiling. So really engage the glutes. Feel the glute lift and strongly engage. So stomping on the ceiling. All right, let's do one more. And then we're going to move the right leg, the right knee out 3 inches to the right. So our knee is 3 inches to the right, and now we're going to stomp some more, engaging the glute. And feel if something's changed. As we move the leg, a different area of the gluteus maximus gets engaged. Now we're going to move the leg 3 inches further to the right, and then we're going to feel and we're going to lift. And this may be just completely impossible. See how it is. All right, stretch out the legs, shake out the hips. Let's rest, feel our heart beating. 5 more deep breaths into the belly. All right, last big breath. Bend the knees, flex the feet. Let's come over to the left foot and now stomp the ceiling with the knee right below the hip. Feel which muscles are activating. And now move the knee 3 inches to the left. And now stomp on the ceiling. Now 3 inches to the right or to the left. And keep feeling with your hands what muscles are activating. Is there a different part of your hips that are activating now? And last one. All right, straighten the legs. Shake out the hips. Let's just integrate the work. Inhaling 5 deep times. So inhale. And last deep breath. All right, we're gonna do a little Cobra to open the chest. So you can move, if you had a pillow or anything under your head, you can go ahead and move that. We're gonna push ourselves up and make little train tracks, railroad tracks with our hands, with our forearms. So the forearms are parallel. Our shoulders are right above the elbows. So our hands are gonna be firmly placed into the ground. And now we're going to press the toenails into the ground, press the pubic bone into the ground, and that's going to release the back. And now we look up and breathe into our collarbones. So we're reversing, sitting, slumping over in our chair. We're opening up the chest, reversing the collarbone collapse. Let's do one more deep breath. And then come down. You can rest your head on your forehead or on your hands and shake out the hips. Just rest for a moment. And then we're going to go back up. 2 more deep breaths. All right. So this time let's start with our toenails. Press the toenails into the ground. Then press the pubic bone into the ground. Then lift the chest and turn the arms so that the forearms are parallel. Then look up and lift through the chest. And breathe into the chest. And 5th big breath. All right, we're gonna push ourselves up. Is everyone okay still? It's hard work, huh? Okay, great. So shake it out, shake it out. We're gonna come into our squat. So now we have worked hard to activate these big, huge muscles on the backs of our body, on the back of the hips. So we're gonna come into our squat and we're gonna start off with our in our squat. But what I don't want you guys to do is collapse into your squat, okay? Look at this, my arms, my shoulders, it's just like I'm sitting at my desk. See, look at how I am all hunched over. What we want is to engage the glutes. We warmed them up, they should be super engaged now. Engage the thighs, feel them. Are they engaged? Yes. Mine are. And then we're going to reach the arms up and we're going to Om. Ready? Om. Whew. All right. That was hard. All right, we're going to now do 10 squats. All right, so we're going to bring our hands to the ground and lift the tailbone up. So coming down and then lifting up. 1. Exhale down through the nose. Inhale up. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. And now let's just let our head hang, grab the elbows. You can keep the knees bent and just go from side to side. Feel your heart beating. All right, so let's work on a static stretch of our hamstrings. So you can bring your hands down to your shins and slowly start straightening the knees. You can straighten the back and only come as far as feels safe. So if the hamstrings are very, very tight, keep the knees slightly bent. Okay, so look, so you can have your knees pretty bent, a little bit straighter, wherever you are, self-acceptance. And we'll breathe into our hamstrings and stretch out the hamstrings. And if you can put your hands on the ground, go ahead and do that and let your head hang. All right, we're gonna roll ourselves up, one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up, slowly, slowly, slowly. Roll the shoulders back. All right, let's come into our Tadasana and let's continue to work on our shoulders and our hips. Standing now, micro bend the knees. And let's play with the pelvis some more. So see what it feels like to tuck the pelvis, meaning the tailbone is pushing under, and then see what it means to untuck. So there's two ways that we can abuse our poor hips and spine. The duck bottom, right? This is, feel your back. This is tightening your back. It's really hard. And if you have lower back pain, you might be walking around with your tailbone pressed up. It's very, very hard. So try that and then drop the tailbone. So that's neutral. Feel the neutral. And then try pushing the tailbone under, and that's tucking the tailbone. Now watch, when you tuck it, the whole spine collapses into this round. So there's two ways you can go wrong with your posture. You can be tucking the tailbone under and walk around like this. Hi, everybody. You know, or you can be like this. And then your head comes out and then you have all this neck pain. I'm obviously exaggerating, right? But what you want to do is have a neutral pelvis. So go ahead and touch your tailbone or your sacral. The sacral is the triangle piece between the hips. And you want it to be neutral. You don't want it to be pushing back and you don't want it to be pushing forward. Because when you think about osteoporosis and spine health, you want to have a nice neutral spine that's going to allow the spine to be strong. A strong, healthy spine for life. Okay, so now that we've talked a lot about the theories, let's do another exercise to work on the hips and the balance. So balance is critical as we think about our hips. So let's move our weight onto the left leg and we're going to do a little spin that's going to continue to strengthen the hips. So this is a dynamic balance pose. So we're going to make a big circle with our legs. So inhaling all the way over to as far as we can go and then exhaling around. And see if you can make actually a full circle. See if you can point the toe and touch it in the same spot on both sides. On the front and the back. So we're inhaling forward, exhaling back. We're micro bending the standing leg. All right, wonderful. Shake it out, shake it out. And let's just stand in Tadasana for a moment and see if we feel any different on the right side versus the left side. So feel your heart beating. You can wiggle your hips a little bit, see if there's any difference. So this kind of rotation is it's a good demonstration of the amount of flexibility we have in our hip joints. All right, let's move our weight onto the right leg, micro bend the standing knee, inhaling forward, exhaling back. And see if you're touching the ground in the same spot. All right, wonderful. Shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Okay, good. So now let's bring our attention to the psoas. The psoas is the muscle in the front. So we worked a lot on the glutes. We worked on the hamstrings. Now we're gonna pay attention to this poor muscle in the front of the leg. So this is the muscle that lifts the leg, okay? It lifts the leg. So go ahead and feel it lift. So what happens when we sit all day? Let me show you. So this is me sitting. This psoas muscle is shortened. It's shortened and tightened. And then, so the psoas muscle attaches to the hips and then it comes all the way around into our lumbar. So when it's short and tight, what happens is it pulls the back. It pulls the back. So the back gets really, really sore. Okay? So we're gonna work on the psoas now and we're gonna come into dolphin pose. So just watch me for a moment and then you can come in after I get in. So dolphin pose is just like downward dog, but the hands are like this. And we're putting our weight on the forearms, okay? So we're gonna have our hands like this. And you're just watching still. You're gonna push the butt far in the air. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a psoas strengthening pose and a shoulder opener. This is actually probably the perfect pose in the world. So we're on our forearms. Our forearms are bent and we're folding our hands together, okay? Yeah, so our forearms are like this. And so this is a really great strengthener for the shoulders. Okay, so we push up, we push through the heels. Let's just focus on the shoulders for a moment. So feeling the shoulders strong. Push your head away from the ground. Breathing in and out through the nose. So feel your shoulders getting stronger here. A little static stretch or strengthener for the shoulders. All right, so now we're going to bring in the psoas. So what we're going to do, you don't have to look at me, you can just listen. We're going to bring the right knee to the right elbow. So bring it all the way in and then bring it back out. Then bring the left knee to the left elbow. So you can see that this is moving those psoas, strengthening the psoas, lifting it up and down towards the elbow. And so inhale when you bring the knee towards the elbow. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale to bring the knee towards the elbow. Exhale, back. And remember, the slower you move, the more your muscle has to work and less momentum is helping you. All right, we're going to just stay in dolphin for a few more breaths. Let's stay for 5 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. All right, we're going to come up and we're going to then move into a psoas stretch. So we're going to bring the right leg through, line up the knee right over the ankle. So we're going to inhale up, looking up. Now we're bringing our collarbones back in, stretching through the collarbones. We're going to exhale over the hamstring, letting the head bow, and then inhaling, just going back and forth. Exhaling down, bowing. Look up. Get a nice stretch of the collarbones. All right, last one. Now let's stay in our lunge. So bring your hand to the front of this hip and feel that your psoas is stretching here. So we just did a little bit of psoas work when we were working on the dolphin, and now we're stretching the psoas. So feel that nice stretch through psoas. So even if you can just do a little bit of psoas stretching every day, it's going to help with any kind of lower back pain. It's also going to just help you feel a lot better. So yeah, let's go ahead and lift the arms, and we can look up, which is going to challenge our balance. Opening the psoas, we can even open the belly, the chest. Reversing the sitting. Let's do 2 more deep breaths. Whew. All right, bring the hands down and let's switch legs, but let's move our leg slowly and mindfully. And as we move the right leg back, I want you to see what muscles are getting engaged to move it. So these hip muscles are responsible. Now as we bring the left leg forward, move it forward slowly. Feel the psoas, feel the thigh, the ankle flexing as it comes through. So just try to see what muscles are responsible. All right, so once we get in, bring the knee over the heel, and then get a nice psoas stretch, and then inhaling up, exhaling, forward fold over the front leg, and go at your own pace. All right, last one. And when you come back into your psoas stretch, really push through the hip points, looking up. We'll do a little static stretch here. And if you feel like it, you can bring the hands onto the thigh, or you can also bring the hands all the way up. And slowly bring your hands down, and let's pay attention to what muscles are moving as we pull the left leg back, slowly moving it. And then you can come sit for a moment, just feel the change. And then let's come to the top of our mat, and we'll do a little flow. So coming to the top of the mat, we'll take a big step back with the right foot. Do a lunge. So the lunge is with the heel up, the front leg is bent, okay? We're really working hard on this calf or this thigh. So we're gonna inhale the arms up. We're gonna exhale, drop the heel, move the arms open. That's your exhale. Then you're gonna inhale into reverse warrior, exhale back into warrior, and then inhale into lunge. All right, so we're gonna just flow back and forth, dropping the heel. This front leg never changes. The thigh is just stable. See, watch my thigh. It doesn't move. This leg is rotating in the femur. The femur, I'm sorry, is rotating in the hip socket. So this is a really good strengthener of our hips. So make it a moving meditation. All right, let's step to the top of our mat, shake it out, and let's just feel the difference. Let's close our eyes, stand in Tadasana, and feel the difference on each side. All right, now let's take a big step back with the left foot. Remember that the heel is up. The heel is up. Inhale this, check, make sure you have a nice angle in the front leg. We're gonna keep that. This leg doesn't change. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, drop the heel. Reverse warrior, warrior two, lunge. So move at your own pace with your breath and breathe in and out through the nose. All right, let's do one more. All right, beautiful. Let's just turn both feet parallel to the front, come down into a big forward fold, and just feel our heart beating. So you can have your arms flat on the ground, your hands flat, and then you can hang your head. All right, we're going to come into our pigeon pose now. So you can walk around into a downward dog. And from your downward dog, pedal out your legs a little bit. Let's open up into fire hydrant. So let's start with our right leg, lifting the right leg up into three-legged dog, and then bending the knee, bring the hip open, breathe. You can rotate the hip, the knee in circles, and then the other way. Just getting a nice big opening. And then when you're ready, bring the right foot next to the left wrist, bringing the leg all the way up. You want to parallel line between your shin and the front of your mat. So coming down. So the shin is parallel with the front of the mat, all right? The back leg is out behind us. We're pressing up, and let's just look up and breathe into the collarbones. So we should feel a really big stretch on our hips right now. So the right foot is next to the left wrist. and a nice big parallel line. And then once you're ready, you can walk your hands down, come onto your forearms. And then if that feels good, you can come further and come rest your head on your forehead. And we'll just stay here for 1 minute. And we're going to do a 4-count box breath. So a 4-count box breath is a 4 in, hold for 4, and then out for 4, hold out for 4, 4 in, hold for 4, out for 4, hold out for 4, and go on at your own pace, doing a 4-count box breath. All right, do your last box breath. All right, we're going to push yourselves up. Stretch through the chest. We're going to walk the left knee in a little bit and then tuck the toes coming into your downward dog. Push into a 3-legged dog or fire hydrant, and then you can rotate the hip and go the other way. So we worked really hard on these hips and glutes, hamstrings, psoas, and all that's getting a nice stretch here. So bring that right foot down. You can pedal out the legs. And then let's bring the left leg up, 3-legged dog. Come into fire hydrant, open the hip, rotate the knee, alternate direction. And then bring the left leg through so that the ankle comes right next to the right wrist. Lower down, walk the right knee out, and then push through the hands looking up. Breathe into your chest, open the collarbones. And then when you're ready, slowly come down to your forearms and then come all the way down to your hands and just rest. And we're going to do our 4-count box breath for 1 minute. So this is a very strong static stretch to increase range of motion in all the hips and muscles that we just loosened. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold out for 4. At your own pace. All right, last box breath. And let's push yourselves up. Walk the right knee in. Tuck the toes. Push yourself up into downward dog.
lifting the left leg up into fire hydrant, and then rotate the knee, opening up all the muscles that we've just been working so hard this whole class. Let that leg just fall open. Feel the stretch. All right, let's come back into downward dog, pedal out the feet. Do anything else that you need to do to feel good. If you want to do happy baby, you can come around into happy baby. Anything else right now that you need to do before we do our final Shavasana? You can roll back and forth. And then when you're ready and you've finished rolling around and enjoying, let's just do a very short little Shavasana, stretching out. Thank yourself for being able to come to yoga today. And if you're able to stay in Shavasana longer, please do. Otherwise, you can come up and sit, and we'll close together. So check in with how you're feeling emotionally. See how it compares to the beginning of class. And then also check in with how you're feeling mentally, if your patterns have changed. Remember your intention. And let's close with an Om. Inhale. Om. May the benefits of this practice benefit you and everyone you meet.